The following broadcast is brought to you by Public House Media.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What is up, Rewritten crew? It's Julianne Condia, your host of Rewritten. Thanks for being a listener. It's amazing. And this podcast grows when you share it with a friend, when you tell other people about it. So I appreciate you. I love that. I love hearing from you and how each episode is speaking to you. I want to remind you that it's just my life lessons. It's things that I go through, and all I want to do is be relatable. All I want to do is show you what I've done and to where I'm going. I want to help you have breakthroughs. I want to see you crush it. I want you to never dream small. I want you to realize that your dreams are incredible. And sometimes it just takes some self-discovery to really figure out what those are. But if you're feeling stuck, you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, paralyzed, I want to help you break through from that. And I really do think tuning into Rewritten can help with that. Rewritten is a society, a community to help you rewrite your story from whatever past you've experienced to the current season that you're dealing with, maybe circumstances that come your way. I want you to be able to have confidence that those moments are here to shape you and help you and grow you, give you grit, give you just this unbelievable vision, and show you that there's limitless potential, that you can have breakthroughs, that you can completely rewrite your story and become whoever it is that you want to become. Even if that seems so hard, distant, and impossible, it's all about belief and action. And you just have to believe that you can do it, because you can. And I am going to tell you that nonstop. We are here to link arms. We are not here to compete. We are not here to compare. We are here to cheer each other on, to show each other, remind each other that we can do amazing things, that we can impact people in the greatest ways, of just being ourselves, of being intentional. And friend, I am just grateful that you are a part of this podcast. It means a lot to me. And so it really matters when you screenshot this and tag me, let me know how it speaks to you, or you rate it and review it. It really does. It helps our podcast. And the fact that you listen all the way through makes my heart so happy. I think we have 99% to 100% listen rate, which does not happen in today's society. So thank you for just feeling captivated. Thank you for being a part of this. I just appreciate you. Today I want to talk to you about difficult conversations. And I've done a podcast before on critical conversations, if you scroll back, but this one's a little bit different. This is one that was inspired by a discussion that I had with our marriage group that we are a part of, that we have every Thursday. It's amazing. I love it. And it's just side note, it's uncomfortable for me to go to things like that initially. It's just so out of my comfort zone to hang out with people I don't know. And I'm so glad that Eric and I just did it. And there were times we didn't want to go. There were times we would make excuses and turn around. There was one time we were on our way to life group and completely turned around in the car. But we just stuck it out, and now I can't miss it. It just fills my cup. You need to surround yourself with people who fill your cup, who make you better, who make you think better, who cheer you on, who give you hugs, who link arms with you, who are there to support you, not feel sorry for you, but encourage you. That's who you need to link arms with. And I'm so thankful that Eric and I have that. And again, it was uncomfortable. We had to seek it out. We went through a lot of life groups to find this one. And it just took patience and prayer and action. So we were talking about difficult conversations and how to navigate through that. And I shared something, and I could tell that, and this is something I learned, I could tell that that was good for the group to hear, because they were all like, oh yes, that's what I need to do. Because a lot of times when we go into conversations, the other person, I know Eric is a fixer, and I think when people come to me, I try to fix it too and think of solutions. And sometimes that's just not what people are wanting. And so then it causes conflict, tension, a disconnect. Maybe that person stops talking to you. And not because you were trying to be difficult, but because there was an expectation that wasn't met for both parties. So when I go to Eric and I'm just really looking to speak out loud, get my thoughts out, I already have the solution probably in my head, but I'm not seeking one from him. I've learned that when you're approaching these conversations, when it comes to even a friend, is to say and set the expectation. Expectations are everything. Usually where there's a lack of clarity, there's an expectation that's not met. And so when you can just lay it out there, I think that it gives better direction of what both parties are needing in that moment, right? So when we're approaching a conversation, you could do something like this and say something like this is, hey, I'm coming into this conversation just to get some things off of my chest and to just think out loud, and I just need a sounding board. I'm not looking for a solution right now. I'm just looking for someone to listen. With that approach, that gives the other person in this conversation so much more clarity. So without doing that, I really think conversations can turn really difficult. They can turn really ugly or frustrating. And so if you're finding yourself having this revolving door of difficult conversations, there's difficult subjects to talk about. If you're in a relationship, I think that could be money, taxes, a financial plan, right? Those are hard conversations. But I think if you set an expectation, or even people in our group were talking about how when they know they have to have a huge talk with their partner, they schedule it. So then it gives both parties to really reflect and think about it. So that's my number one piece of advice when it comes to conversations and making them, difficult conversations are good, but making them less difficult in the sense of unmet expectations. Another thing that my mom taught me was don't act out of emotion. And that is so hard. I do internalize, but I also am quick with my answers. I'm quick with my thoughts. Sometimes I say things without really fully thinking them through and thinking of the impact my words might have. So her saying that, don't act out of emotion, there are some key tips to this of taking a breath, talking slower, or revisiting the conversation of this is something that Eric and I have done, saying, hey, you know what? This is not something that I have the capacity to talk about in this current moment. I just need to gather my thoughts, but I want to revisit it in 30 minutes. This happened to us, that Eric had an amazing breakthrough. He had taken these notes. He wanted to share them with them. And I felt a little bit bombarded. Not because he was attacking me, not because they were negative. It just was a lot to absorb. So as he was starting, I said, I love you so much. This is so exciting for you. I'm slightly overwhelmed and I just need a minute. I want to revisit this. I want to talk through this. I really want to hear you out. I want to hear about your breakthroughs and what is on your heart and on your mind. And I love that you're excited to come to me for it. But I just need a little bit of time to gather my thoughts and prepare myself to be in a mindset of listening, to be in a mindset of body language that is showing you that I'm caring about this. I don't think I articulated it that well. I can articulate it a lot better for you, but we're working through it because I didn't want to act out of emotion. I didn't want to be on a defense or not really hear what he was saying. So that has been really helpful. And that's also has been really helpful for my friendships. I'm the type of friend that if I feel a disconnect, if I feel a weirdness, I'm going to approach you about it. If I even, for one moment, if say someone even came to me and had talked about someone else feeling a disconnect with me, that bothers me. So I go to them and I go, what's up? Come to me, right? I have that where it's like, if you have a problem or a feeling with me, address it with me instead of everyone else. So with that, it's these two tips that I just shared with you are super important because I'm the one who wants to be direct. I want to handle it. I want to clear the air and move on and not suppress it, not hold on to it, not create a wedge. That's a word Eric and I use in our relationship. Is this going to create a wedge? If we act on this, do you think that this will create a wedge? And so I am very adamant about that with my relationships in life, in friendship, the people I'm linking arms with, because it's not all roses all the time. We're human. We're going to mess up. Difficult conversations grow relationships. They are so good when you learn from them, when you get better from them, when you really are coming from a place of love, when you are coming from a place of non-judgment, when you're coming from a place of wanting to get better together, not to criticize, put down, make the other person feel small, right? We all mess up. And I wish I could say that I've gone through life without messing that up. Oh, but that's a lie. So with the direct conversations and the difficult conversations with friends, I don't want to act out of emotion. I do want to be direct, but I do want to set an expectation. Hey, I have felt, not, hey, what's wrong with you? I have felt that there's been a little bit of a disconnect. Maybe that's just on my end, but I just wanted to come to you and just talk and see if there's anything that we need to talk about. We can talk about it now. We can talk about it tomorrow, whatever is best for you. But I love you. You are someone that is so important to me in my life. And I just want to be on the same page. And I'm just feeling weird about it. And it could be nothing, but I just love you so much. I need to talk to you about it. And then that puts the ball in the other person's court of saying, hey, yes, let's talk about this right now. Or you know what? Yes, I have been feeling this. Why don't we talk in a couple days? You know, the good people in your life are the ones that are willing to work through the hard. And we're all going to struggle. We're all going to mess up. But it's having those difficult conversations and approaching them so hard without attaching emotion. And again, that takes taking deep breaths. That takes scheduling a time or decompressing your thoughts, right? Or approaching a conversation of, hey, I am looking for solutions in this conversation. So if you could help give me some, I would be so grateful. Or, hey, I'm not looking for any solutions right now. I'm not looking for this to be fixed. I think I have an idea of where I need to go with it, but I just need a sounding board. I really do believe that these tips will help you with difficult conversations that are meant to help grow you. And now there are people that won't care about this, that they're just emotional stress. They want to put all of their insecurities on you. And I just invite you to, where do you need to set boundaries in your life? Some of the people at our life group were talking about, they have found that with family, that their energy, mindset, the way that they live their life took a toll on the couple if they're around them a lot. And so what they've had to do is they've had to set some serious boundaries. They've had to, because they were coming frustrated at each other after spending time with certain people that they felt like were sucking energy out of them. And I just think that's a difficult conversation to say, hey, I was really struggling by the energy of other people, right? But you might be dealing with a conversation with someone who just wants to be a victim, wants to be aggressive. And I just invite you, friend, to set boundaries with that. It is so vital to know this, that it is a team. It's a we thing. That's what we talked about at we. We're a team of we. We're a team. And if you're not feeling like that, it's okay to set boundaries, because your energy, your mindset, and who you surround yourself with is so important, that you need to be heard. It's people, not points. You can still be right and not have to prove a point. But if you feel like there's just always a defense, an attack, all these types of things, you have to also look, is this person willing to work through this ever? Or are they just continuing to play into this story and not trying to grow the relationship? I hope these tips were so helpful to you. They've been helpful to me. Let me know how this spoke to you. Please send this to 3 friends. Tag this episode at the Rewritten Society on Instagram and at Julianne Condia. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in.